If there's one thing that Far Cry isn't, it's a good example on how to treat your pets. So as we knew they would, Ubisoft announced their post-apocalyptic Far Cry entry, Far Cry New Dawn, at the Game Awards last night. And I thought, you know what, I might as well give my thoughts on it since I made a video on the teaser, so I might as well make a video on the full announcement. But the vibe I'm getting is Ubisoft heard players go, we want a Bayek sequel for Assassin's Creed, and they were like, we got you fam, have a Boomer sequel. And I mean, I'm not complaining, after Far Cry 5 they can never not make a Far Cry game with dogs in various predicaments. So Far Cry New Dawn is set in the same area as Far Cry 5, Hope County, Montana, except it's been nuked to shit, because at the end of Far Cry 5, if you don't remember, Father actually nuked it, because same. I don't believe this is the only ending to the game, but I never bothered to play that far into it anyway because it didn't captivate me enough. But apparently the apocalypse was canon, and although there's a time skip between the end of Far Cry 5 and the beginning of Far Cry New Dawn, it is actually good to see them continuing a story for once, if only loosely. It'll probably be its own story, but at the same rate, it's continuing on after the story of Far Cry 5, as opposed to being somewhere else, somewhere different, with different characters yet again. Though I can imagine Joseph Seed being one of the only returning characters, who we know will have a little bit of a presence in the game at the very least, since he was teased in this reveal trailer. So props to Ubisoft for finally doing some continuation within the Far Cry universe. All you'll need to do now is make the story compelling, and then you'll have an interesting series on your hands. But, Ubisoft.
We're gonna take everything from you, starting with your home. And if we can't take it, we'll break it.
Yeah, storytelling in light-hearted games doesn't tend to go awfully well. At least when it comes to games that are light-hearted and incredibly fucking violent. Now, I'm not criticising the game's tone with regards to its subject matter, but somehow it does have me a little bit concerned. Because when it comes to games like this, execution is everything, and some games will just opt for not taking themselves seriously, and they'll just become a self-aware mess. I feel as if Ubisoft thinks that a light tone appeals as more fun to players, when in reality, it doesn't really make a difference. But I'll give it to them, Ubisoft do know how to make trailers. They do know how to make games look fun. Though in my experience, sometimes they'll make a trailer better than the actual game. Something that really came back to bite them back in the Assassin's Creed Unity days. Now, another thing I think is worth addressing is this Far Cry going to be any different to Far Cry 5, Far Cry 4 and Far Cry 3, which although they did have differences among them, they were also very similar. And I think the biggest concern for Far Cry right now is I just expect the same from every single game. I don't expect any innovation, I just expect to experience the exact same thing. The villain is usually where Far Cry sort of thrives though, as seen with Far Cry 3 with Vars and Far Cry 4 with Pagan Min. I don't really have much against Far Cry's villains. Now this time around we've got something of a duo going on. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but it appears as if the villains are identical twin sisters, who for some reason are now sadistic fucks. That one might need explaining. And I mean, I'm in no position to evaluate these antagonists, so I'm just not going to try. Also, the pre-order prices for Far Cry New Dawn appear to be lower than that of what you'd expect from a AAA game, which makes me think that this is not the big Far Cry game coming next. This is some spin-off, sort of similar to Primal, but hopefully not as mundane. So now we sort of know that it's not going to be the next big Far Cry, it's just this tied over game, the simple spin-off if you will, which won't quite be as harmful to our wallets, so therefore I guess we can be a little bit more lenient, or can we? At least we can gauge what to expect. We also know that the game's coming out on the 15th of February in early 2019, so it's not that far away, so they don't want to hype this game up awfully too much, and at the same time makes me believe they're going to reuse a lot of assets from Far Cry 5, a game that by the launch of Far Cry New Dawn will have only been out for 11 months. Not even. So in other words, don't expect something groundbreaking or amazing from Far Cry New Dawn. I know I'm not, because I am 100% certain that it's not going to try to be something amazing, and will be something of a fan service with regards to the ending of Far Cry 5. So I'm not going to be overly excited or expect too much, much for Far Cry New Dawn, because I know that I have no reason to, and Ubisoft knows that too, and they want us to know it. So I'm expecting a post-apocalyptic primal-sized spin-off, and that's about it. And I reckon with that mindset going in, I might enjoy it. But there are my thoughts on Far Cry New Dawn, at least from the announcement we got at the Game Awards last night. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, share the channel with your friends and all that wonderful stuff. Be sure to let me know what you think down in the comment section, that's important here, and be sure to go ahead and follow me on Twitter, I would really appreciate that. And I'll see you all very soon in another video at some point.